All right, let's talk about the modern day gold rush. But forget picks and shovels. We're talking about a race for something way more valuable: AI dominance. And the world's biggest companies, the brightest minds, they're all in. The pace of AI development is it's breathtaking, right? So we thought, hey, what if we just zoomed in? What happens in just one single week? And what we found, well, it's pretty revealing. So what's the answer? Well, it involves everything from corporate bans that look a lot like claim jumping to viral videos of bunnies fooling millions of people. Oh, and a company hitting a valuation so big it's almost funny: $4 trillion. Now, these aren't just random headlines. They're all signals, clues from the wild frontier of this massive tech boom. So let's get into it. Okay, first up, let's get the lay of the land. Picture this vast, uncharted territory. It's brand new, and it's attracting prospectors from literally every corner of the globe, all of them scrambling to plant their flag and stake a claim. And this isn't just some casual weekend hobby. No way. We're talking about over 1 million serious players jumping in. And here's the kicker: 71% of them, the vast majority, are senior decision makers. We're talking founders, VPs, the people with the checkbooks and the authority to make huge, risky bets. That concentration of power, well, that's what's making this competition so incredibly high stakes. And, in any gold rush, you've got the titans, right? The massive mining companies battling it out for the richest veins of gold. This AI rush is no different. And this 1 week we looked at, it was a textbook example of these giants making aggressive, sometimes ruthless moves to get ahead. And this is a perfect snapshot of that tension. You've got Anthropic, a huge player, slamming the door on its rival, OpenAI. Why? The accusation is that OpenAI was secretly using Anthropic's own tech through their public API to train its next-gen model. Now, OpenAI says, hey, this is just standard practice. But in a gold rush, this is the modern-day equivalent of claim jumping. You're basically trying to mine on someone else's turf. And the stakes here are just astronomical. Right in the middle of all this drama, we learn Anthropic is about to close a new funding round that would value it at a jaw-dropping $170 billion. Now, to put that in perspective, its value has nearly tripled in just 4 months. The speed at which fortunes are being made here is it's mind-bending. And that money, it's translating into real power. New reports are showing Anthropic has now grabbed 32% of the enterprise AI market, surging right past OpenAI. It turns out their big focus on safety and reliability is a huge hit with big businesses. It just goes to show you how quickly the map can be redrawn out here on the frontier. Meanwhile, let's talk about one of the main bankers of this revolution, Microsoft. In the same week, they became only the second company in history to hit a market cap of $4 trillion. That number is just wild. And it's all fueled by their huge bets on AI, cementing their role as the financial titan that's bankrolling this entire gold rush. And it's not just Microsoft throwing money around. Over at Meta, Mark Zuckerberg made a pretty bold declaration. He said, "We have entered the era of personal superintelligence." And he's putting his money where his mouth is. Meta is pouring over $70 billion into this, poaching top talent from everybody else, and basically signaling their grand plan to put that kind of superintelligence directly into your hands. So while these titans are fighting over territory, there's another race happening right alongside it. It's the race to invent the best shovels and pickaxes for this new era. And believe me, the pace of innovation for these new AI tools is every bit as fierce. Take this for example. Google DeepMind just drops AlphaEarth. It's basically a virtual satellite. This AI model pulls together incredible amounts of data to create a living, breathing digital twin of our entire planet. And this isn't just some fancy Google Maps update. This is a game-changing tool for partners like the UN to track wildfires, predict floods, and watch over our ecosystems in real time. Amazing stuff. Then, on the creative side of things,
a new model called Flux 1 Krea came out, and its whole mission is to get rid of that telltale AI look. The waxy skin, the weird hands, the odd lighting. The images it's creating are so photorealistic, they're becoming almost impossible to tell apart from actual photos, which, really starts to blur the line between what's real and what's rendered.
And get this, even the way they hire the prospectors is changing. Meta is now running job interviews where they want engineers to use AI assistants. They're openly encouraging it. The test isn't just can you code anymore. It's how well can you guide the AI? How well can you interpret what it gives you? It's a huge sign of just how deeply these tools are weaving themselves into the fabric of skilled work. So you see all these incredible new tools, and it naturally makes you wonder, right? How do you go from just watching this gold rush from the sidelines to actually becoming a prospector yourself? How do you get in on the action? Well, for anyone who is inspired to start building, resources are popping up to help you do just that. Things like toolkits that bundle tutorials and code templates to help you bridge that gap from just learning about AI to actually building with it. We've dropped a link to one of these toolkits in the description, just as an example for anyone who's curious. But of course, no gold rush boomtown is ever clean and tidy. This crazy, rapid, pretty much unregulated expansion is creating some serious growing pains. We're talking about everything from fears about job losses to a really deep erosion of public trust. The rules for this new world? They're basically being written on the fly. And speaking of jobs, a big Microsoft study gave us a really clear snapshot of the impact on the workforce. It looked at thousands of users, and the divide is pretty stark. Knowledge worker jobs, think translators, writers, data analysts, they are hugely impacted by this AI shift. But jobs that require you to be physically present, hands-on work like construction or nursing, they're mostly untouched. For now, anyway. And then there's the issue of trust, and it's being eaten away from two totally different directions. On the one hand, you have serious, scary stuff, like a bug that made private ChatGPT conversations searchable by the public. Yikes! And on the other hand, you have something that seems trivial, a viral AI video of cute bunnies on a trampoline that fools 180 million people. One is a major security breach, the other is just a silly deception. But both of them, in their own way, chip away at our ability to believe what we see online. Look, tackling these problems head-on requires real leadership and some very open conversations. That's why there's such an urgent need for the innovators and leaders who are building this future to step up, share their vision for doing it responsibly, and really connect with the community. So, after a single week of corporate turf wars, mind-blowing new tools, and some very real public concerns, where does this all go from here? Let's try to peer past the current dust and chaos and see what might be coming over the next horizon. Right now, all eyes are on OpenAI and its next big model, GPT-5. We're hearing whispers from insiders about its capabilities, and the anticipation is mixed with a healthy dose of nervousness. A leaked internal quote actually compared its potential implications to the Manhattan Project. Now, when you use a phrase like that, you're not just talking about another software update. You're signaling a leap in power so significant it might demand a whole new level of oversight and responsibility. And to navigate this next wave, to really thrive in it, it's going to require a whole new set of skills. That's why you're seeing professional certifications for the big AI platforms, Google Cloud, Azure, AWS, becoming so important. They're becoming critical for anyone who wants to build a career in this space and actually stay ahead of the curve. And all of this, everything we've seen in just one chaotic week, brings us to the big final question. The technology, the money, the competition, it's all moving at an exponential pace. The power of these tools is exploding. But is our wisdom keeping up? Are our ethics, our foresight, our rules of the road, are they growing just as fast? Honestly, how we answer that is what's going to define this entire era.